Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Friday afternoon here on Tales from the Grim. My name is Grimjack21502, and that's about all I'm going to say. We have our lovely sponsor in Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, that is going to be guiding us through Monty Cook's Cypher system from the imagination of our very own GM, Alice, who has created a fantastic tale, populated this world with amazing NPCs, incredible players all surrounding me in all of these directions. And so, again, Roll20 is our virtual tabletop. Jump on them if you want to create your own stories and your own fantastic worlds. We highly recommend it. But what I highly recommend right now is for me to shut up and say, Alice, take it away.
Yeah, we'll dive straight in because we did leave everyone in a little bit of a dilemma last week. And we're actually going to start with Zarina and Livewire. And you have just gone tearing down that corridor, that hallway. And at that last minute, as you had one of these officers sort of flung towards you, those elevator doors opened. And as you go charging into it, you can hear the crunch of the metal as this thing starts to make its way down the hallway to you. And as you sort of see that huge hand come past the elevator, the door's closed. You are in the elevator on your own with the elevator music that starts on the way down. Above you, you can hear banging and crashing and the ripping of metal as it sort of judders and starts to shake on the way down. What are you doing?
Well, Alice, I assume the potential elevator is falling emergency position.
It's actually going quite steady right now. It's more juddery.
Just in case. Which, for any of those who don't know, this is an actual thing you can do if you're in a falling elevator. Greg knows this is a PSA I've already done on this channel, but it's been a couple years. So, you get in the corner, you brace yourself with your arms on the railings. If there's no railings, just brace yourself with your arms. Bend your knees, but have them loose. You know, that way the shockwave goes through you, and you don't break all your bones. So she's just doing that in the elevator corner, just in case.
Livewire turns to Zarina, and I do not think they've been introduced at all. I do not believe they have.
Talking to her.
Yes, I do not believe they've been introduced at all. And so in this sort of a little bit of a panic mode, right? He goes, looking like Danny DeVito, he goes, Zarina, I think we're being specifically targeted. And he gets into the emergency elevator position and looks up, wanting to see if, listening, looking for things like heavy footprints crashing into the top of the elevator, or he's concerned about what happens when the elevator doors might be pried open and what might happen after that. And he's put himself in the corner near the door so that he can press that button to, go.
Yeah, this elevator is descending very, very slowly. You can hear the elevator music as it kicks in on the way down, very much as it did on the way up. And above you, somewhere, not on the elevator or anywhere, you guess maybe it's the doors that you just came from up top, you hear that crunch of metal and that screech of metal on metal as something is opening the door above your elevator as it starts its descent.
Sir, could you explain to me why you would be targeted, perhaps? I'm at the police station because I was apparently a target, but...
I mean, clearly you've been targeted. You said they sent the feeders at you, right? So clearly you're being targeted, and
Yes.
And I don't know if you noticed, but that tweaker guy who jumped out the window with that woman looked at us, looked at us.
I'm fairly certain they looked at everyone.
No, but what I'm saying is the look was like a processing look. It was a look in... What I'm thinking is they scanned us. They sent information back to the bosses because that guy was being hacked, right? Being controlled by someone. So there's some.
Yes, I would assume.
Right. There's someone who has got our number, is what I'm trying to say. And that person, officer, I feel like we're being targeted for assassination, is what I'm trying to say. Right now, assassination. Right now.
Any theories as to why both you and I, whom I've never met before today,
right,
targeted?
I have some theories, yes, but I'm hoping we could share them, perhaps not once we get out of this elevator and we're no longer being chased by a murder officer.
Where do you intend to leave after this elevator? It will stop.
Outside of the elevator. I want to find out if the people who jumped out the window are okay. So outside. First.
So towards the... Okay.
You hear a little bit of a screech of metal as this elevator judders. It stops.
Does it feel like it stopped because we got to our destination, or does it feel like it stopped because bad things are happening? I'm just asking, just like for no reason though.
Which one do you think?
Oh wow, we're there. This is a great elevator. Wow.
You feel that elevator judder and stop, and the doors don't open. The music still plays, and you can hear this thud, thud, thud. And then just above, as you look at the elevator roof, you see the metal start to wane underneath weight as this creak, as this weight just crash lands on top of this elevator, and you see the whole ceiling bend inwards, and that's what starts to make this elevator judder, sort of once, twice. And you hear something moving around.
Has the elevator stopped moving?
Yes.
Yeah.
I may be trained in identifying or assessing danger, but I think we're in danger.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
I have a quick question for Lindy.
Yes.
Is Zarina a hacker?
Kinda. Not her forte. She's done it before, but not a lot.
So when she's done it before, did she do it a couple of years ago? Would a person who theoretically might have known her a couple of years ago know if she had hacking skills?
Probably for her black market mods.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just like a theoretical question though. Livewire theoretically. Livewire will say, "Can you hack open the doors?"
I can try.
You're gonna try hack the doors?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hack, and if hacking doesn't work, I'm just because we obviously still have power. I'm gonna try to pull them open.
Okay, could you roll me? If you're gonna try hack it first, could you roll me an intellect check, please? Of 3. There you are.
Would be happy to attempt to do so.
And I'm going to cover her. and you're like, how does that even work?
Where are you? Like, are you covering from above? Like, are you just like hands in the air, kind of covering? Or
well, basically, I'm trying to place myself so that if something comes from above, I can interpose myself in between her and whatever might be dropping from above.
Okay.
Which looks really funny because I see you as Danny DeVito right now, and my face claims Gal Gadot. So.
Yes, like you're Gal Gadot, and I'm like currently Danny DeVito. Yeah,
it's a wonderful image. You sit there and you sort of manage to, with your fist, maybe like even smash through a panel, pull out all the wires, and you can start hacking into this. Mm-hmm. And as this is happening, you can hear that metal against metal and live wire. You can see this pressure as the ceiling of this elevator starts to bend, and Zarina, there's almost that moment of that click, and open, and you can see pipes running all the way down the building, and at that moment, Livewire, this huge metal fist comes straight through the top, ripping the metal open like a tin can. And at that, we are going to hop back out of the window as we do this. And back out the window, we have the others as they are moving through the air at this ridiculous high speed. First of all, we are going to go to Hybria. Hybria, what are you doing as you've just had this vision of this person in your family home?
So she's still in her, like, whatever is happening with her eyes and I guess hair. Her hair turns blue also. That's legit. Forgot to mention that last week. Don't worry about it. So she's like free falling. She just has this memory. She's like staring in the face of this person. Thanks for the memories, but got more important problems right now. I would like to try and grapple air wrestle them so that they are underneath me and I can like magic carpet ride them down to the ground.
Okay, could you roll me a might of 4, please?
Okay, cool. I know how to roll things now this time. So I'm going to use my edge. So that'll be a +1. So roll my... Did you give me a difficulty? Did you say 4?
4.
Okay, so I'm actually going to spend some pool on that as well. 1 effort, and I'm going to spend 3 pool.
Oof.
I didn't add my 3 pool to this, though, because I didn't know how to do that.
I will also step in and say that you have 2 advantages, and I think everybody but me, everybody has 2 advantages except me. I have 1, and Eric, you have a critical
3.
success. Oh yeah, somebody has 3. Maybe you all have 3 and I have 2, something like that. I'll check, but you have advantages. Yeah.
I'll roll this again with my advantage, and it's a success! Yay!
Yeah, in fact, on this one, it's effectively a nat 20. So as you sort of, what does it look like as you're tumbling at first, as you're trying to right yourself on top of this sort of huge hulking being, and you do notice this person seems to have direction right now.
They have direction?
As in, like, they almost, this isn't just a flailing and a tumbling out of this window. This is getting out.
So I'm like falling. At first I go like very rigid and still as my eyes and my hair turn blue and I like tap into their memories. And then that effect kind of like clears away as I come to myself and I'm still falling. I try and like, I look back behind me, I see that Cantor and Loxley are coming down. So I'm just like in survival mode right now. I hook my leg around his waist and just sort of use the strength of my thighs to like power flip in the air so that he's underneath me. And I yell back at Loxley and Cantor like, are you actually flying or are you just also falling?
A little bit of both.
As you see them both weaving above you, because you got 2 damage on that roll, as you flip this person, they're not expecting it, and mid-flip, you're falling through traffic. You sort of hit the bonnet of this car, sending you hear the horns go as it tries to, the ones lower down from you, try to avoid swerving. And you manage to get on top effectively and get this person in a grip. You can see the shock on their face, and as much as there is shock there, you can still see their eyes wearing that strange color as if still hacked. But you feel that sort of momentum as you dent the car above. And Loxy and Cantor, could you roll me a speed check, both of you, to aid each other to avoid this car that is kind of sort of now careering out of the way? Just a straight up check.
Can we spend effort on this, or?
Absolutely.
I will do so.
I think I might as well. Might also.
Go for it. Okay. So, Loxy, you're holding on to Cantor right now as Cantor has gone into this almost aerodynamic position. And you see this car coming before it's even hit. So there's that moment, Cantor, where you're pulled back for a moment, and Loxy, you sort of almost fall backwards to turn and avoid this car as it is flung. It sort of skims just above you and Cantor as you avoid it on the way down. Cantor, you do get 2 damage on that roll. Is there anything extra you would like to do? As you probably, I see you sort of kicking off of the car to help Loxy avoid the first bit. But I will let you catch up on that roll as well.
So we're caught up now to the first
You're
group?
sort of arm's reach with Hybria and this person she's on top of.
Cantor would reach for Hybria, he doesn't know, but reach for Lily and put his hand out, but with his other one, he takes his teeth and pulls off the glove, and he's going to fire a blue blast into the back of this creature right in front of Lily. Right in front of Hybria. Just take a shot.
Lily, as you have this, you have that moment of where you're just still slightly connected to this person, and you have you feel someone grab the back of you as you do this, and as you almost break away from that connection, you hear another voice, and there's a voice almost in this body along with the person who you're currently sort of on top of. And you just hear a voice at first you almost think is familiar, but it just says, "Wrong sibling, drop her." At that point, you feel Cantor with his hand on your back, and Cantor, just describe for me, but roll a might at the same time in this case. Doesn't need a success thing. I just want to see the effect.
Okay. 11, yeah.
Okay, what does it look like as you effectively slow everyone down? And I'm assuming you're letting the other person just drop as you grab hold of Hybria. You can see the ground maybe 60, 70 feet below you. Maybe not the lowest point of the city, but one of the huge tarmacked like walkways with the metal and everything.
I have a mechanical question. At this point, what is Loxy's load capacity here?
Am I still holding on to him right now?
Yeah, you're holding on to Cantor. You're the thing that's kind of keeping him not like woof.
All right. I mean, my might isn't very great if that's what my load capacity is.
If you want, you can roll a might to see whereabouts you're at with this. Just a straight up might. Yeah, as soon as you've sort of just been about navigating with Cantor because you've been using your wings to sort of guide you. As soon as you feel that movement and when he grabs Hybria, you feel that additional weight and you start dropping.
I am going to, as soon as I hear that, I'm imagining I hear the voice and feel the hand at around the same time. Without even like batting an eyelash or any moment of hesitation, I want to like backwards like karate chop Cantor and be like, "This is none of your concern. I hope that you will land safely. Please do not endanger yourself. I have a business to attend to for the official Zhenfang family business." Smack.
You're going through all of this.
Yeah. And I imagine I break that grip and I'm just like riding this person down and I'm like, "You have instructions to fetch my brother. Where is he? I am looking for Zhenfang Liwei Archer. Is that who you are searching for?"
I will say, as this happens, Cantor, you feel your hand knocked away, but you are still right, effectively on top of both of them, because you and Loxy are now probably going a little bit faster at this point as you start to drop down. And Hybria, there's a moment where you can see the ground rushing up towards you. It's getting closer and closer. And Cantor, describe that thing for me, what you're doing.
Well, what Cantor would do at this moment then is, instead of continue the descent, he knows that Loxy can probably only carry one of them at a time. So he is going to, if, kind of with a look up towards Lox, swing over to the nearest building, and as he pulls his other glove off, he begins to claw the building with his blue glowing hands and slows himself down as he's dragging rutting lines along 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floors, as he slows his descent. And as he shoots up, he would yell back down now to Loxy, "If she gets kicked off, grab her!"
And Loxy, you're kind of sent off in a spiral as Cantor launches himself towards this building, and you do secure yourself in this, Cantor. But Loxy, you sort of spin off for a moment, but you've flown on your own for a long time. It's, it's easy enough to do, and you manage to regain yourself. You sort of hear those horns from the bikes as they start to whiz off, and sort of you manage to gain your direction again. And you can head back down towards Hybria.
Yeah, I'll do like the controlled, like, bring my wings out, bring them back in, bring my wings out, so sort of like slow myself down, but also just keep the control and the dive at a not lethal speed.
Yeah, you can definitely direct yourself. This is something you do all the time. Hybria, you have got this person, and you are plummeting towards the ground faster and faster, and as you do, you notice almost as this person says this in front of you, and you hear those words leave sort of their mind rather than their actual lips. You hold on to them and you scream this as you're plummeting down through the sky. And you notice the eyes change. The eyes change. They switch. They go back to that blue. And you notice this person turn, and the look of fear on their face as they suddenly realize they're falling.
Are there any cars still around us?
Oh, yeah. There's quite a few cars. But you're coming up to the ground very quickly.
Cool. Well, still hanging on to this person. I'll notice that change, and what I would like to do is like try and hang on to them and like jerk us and like use all of my force to pull us in another direction and hopefully like barrel roll us on top of a car.
Okay. Could you are you trying to do this through physical sort of pull, like are you trying to reach for a car or something, or are you using this speed wise?
Yeah, I think it'd be more of a might thing, but using the momentum of the fall maybe to give me that extra just like movement.
Okay, roll me a might of 4, please.
All right. So, do you know how I can roll with adding my pool?
You just spend effort.
Yeah, it's the effort.
Oh, okay, because I thought
spend
that
3
our
points for
effort
your
cap
pool.
was 1.
Yeah, you can use it only 1 level at a time. You can use it multiple times per session.
But
Okay.
it uses 3 pool points.
Cool. So that is a success.
Yeah, describe what it looks like as you effectively tumble and you hit one of the first bonnets of the car.
So I still have my like leg wrapped around their waist, and seeing the eyes change, I have them like right up in my face, and I'm like, I believe that you no longer have the information that I need, but I will still save your life, hopefully. And just like grab with around the waist with my other leg, so I'm pulling them in tight to me, and then I just barrel roll spin over onto a car. Crash, bonk, bonk.
Yeah, and I'll say Cantor and Loxy, you can see this from where you are at, and you can see the first car, Hybria hits and tumbles and rolls. It swerves. You see them roll off and they land on top of a second one on the roof of another car. And this other person, who seems to be in shock and in fear, is starting to panic. This isn't the person that came into the office earlier. as they start to freak out and panic. You can hear yelling from whoever is in the car beneath you. But there is a panic going on.
I'll like just put my hand over I'm just gonna call him the cyborg for ease of, over the cyborg's face and be like, you need to calm down for a minute. We're still in the air and I have important questions that I need to ask you. So you just have to take a deep breath and calm down. And she'll poke her head over the side and like lean down into the window of whoever's driving and say, hello, my name is Zhenfang Mingzhu Haibria. I apologize for the damage done to your vehicle, but please rest assured my family is very well off and we will compensate you for your vehicle and maybe get you a nicer one.
And you can hear a muffled voice of a banging on the roof. Get the hell off my car! Like, is this sort of, not a swerve, but this person is not happy you're on their car.
I'm going to need you to cooperate. Were I to die off of your car, that would be a big problem for the Zhenfang family. So please, stop your car.
Okay, I need you to roll, they haven't stopped because you're in literally constant flow of traffic, so I do need you to roll a speed check to stay on.
Cool. Difficulty?
3.
Cool. I think this seems like something I will need effort for, and I'll spend 2 out of my pool. Nice.
Yeah. As it starts to move, you manage to sort of grip hold of this car as it starts to move through that traffic. It's not going anywhere fast, but it is there. Cantor, what are you doing?
Slowing myself down. At this point, the only thing he can do is go down in a semi-direct line as he's just creating ruts, slowing himself down and clawing and tearing everything. But he's going to try to keep his eyes on what's going on, but he has no clue where he is, and he's falling, and more often than not, he'd probably just be looking to see where Loxy is, just to make sure that he has a pinpoint on her.
Loxy, where are you? What would Loxy be doing as you're trying to get... You've seen Hybria land, and you can see Cantor's not in the distance, but like at a distance, sort of careering down the side of this building. How I see it is, tell me if I'm wrong, Greg, but it's the metal is shredding on the way down, so you're trying to use it to slow yourself down rather than
this is
climb down.
This is the Bruce Banner method of slowing oneself from dropping from great heights.
Does it seem like he has some sort of control as he's falling down?
Cantor, does it seem like you have some sort of control on the way down?
I certainly hope so, Alice. I mean, the way I see it is he's slowing himself down to the point where, you know, he's getting slower and slower and slower as he creates more of a drag. He's, you know, splitting a building's side open, but other than that, he's okay.
You can see a lot of car horns hear a lot of car horns going off. There's people sort of around that are yelling towards the building. If anything, Loxy, that's what helps you spot Cantor as people are pointing up to where this is happening. There is a lot of chaos starting to come around the building you've just come out of. You do see other officers flooding out of the building down towards the lower levels with whatever is going on right now.
Is there like a parking garage or like a place where there are parked cars around or bikes?
You've definitely got a lot of them on the different levels as you descend. You've got sort of more of a time to look as you glide. You can see some garages very much like your own. There's bikes, there's cars, there's a tram in one of them where you can see whoever owns it is currently sat there with the equivalent of the newspaper, but it's just this hologram that they sort of every now and then flick the page with their hand, and you can see that on your way down. These are all big, almost like where everything is stacked. They're like open crates where people are parking in.
I'm gonna try to land in one of those and steal a car.
You stealing a car, a bike, or a tram?
Bike. I don't
know.
A bike seems like the easiest in this scenario.
Yeah, sure. How are you doing this?
Well, so I am taking like a controlled dive down, sort of scanning around and noticing that there is a garage with not unattended cars, but cars that are currently not being driven and vehicles that are
Mhm.
not being driven. So I'm going to try and angle my dive into one of the levels of those garages.
Okay, absolutely. As you, in fact, roll a speed check just to see how smoothly it goes. Straight up speed check. Yeah, you sort of almost glide in, and as you do, you can see the owner of the bike is just sat there, sort of talking to someone. And as you glide, you land in on this bike. You know how these things work. You immediately put it in gear and slam down on the accelerator. You hear screams and yells coming from the two people that were in there as you whiz out on this bike.
And as I'm driving out, I'm gonna yell, "I'll bring it back!"
you just hear a lot of profanity coming from that direction. But
Yeah.
I will say, Hybria, at that point, Loxy, you spot this, as well as Hybria. The eyes start to flicker and switch again back to that orangey amber, and it's almost like this person is struggling. They put their hands on their head and they're sort of screaming and yelling at themselves as they're trying to fight their way with themselves. You can see them. He slams his fist into the top of the roof of this car, and Hybrid, you see it just dent inwards, and he slowly stands and looks at you very calmly.
I will also stand and look very calmly at him and say, am I to understand that I am now speaking to whomever is taking control of this body?
There is a long pause, and Cantor, from where you are sliding down as much as you're tearing this metal. You can see Loxy above you just sort of almost dive out of this garage where this bike is now whizzing around. And Hybria, you stand there, and it looks at you puzzlingly, and you can tell when something is scanning. It is scanning you up and down. This is an insufficient life form, not the correct sibling. And as you do, you have this fist come up and just you straight in the side, across the shoulders. And you feel almost your breath leave you as you are knocked off of this car.
How high am up am I now?
At what health, sorry?
How high up am I at this point?
You're about 60 feet up.
Okay. Cool,
And
cool.
it feels like a jackhammer has just gone straight into you. This is full metal. As you feel it take the breath out of you and knock. But meanwhile, back in the elevator, what are the both of you doing as you stand and you've got this huge fist come tearing through this elevator roof? It rips some of the paneling up, and Livewire, you can see this huge eye sort of spin and focus on you. And Zarina, you're there with the pipes of you holding this door open.
I've gotten the door open. I can't hear you. Speak up, please.
Freak out. I'm going to freak out. No.
Roll to freak out.
Roll to freak out. I'm going to create an illusion of Zarina exactly where Zarina is, so that overlapping Zarina.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd like my action to be, and I'm going to say, go! I need to spend a point for that.
This sounds wise. And
I will do that.
play Shoots and Ladders and slide down the pipe.
But
Awesome.
it's gonna, but it's gonna look like she's still here with us, right? Because I'm basically setting up a decoy so that the thing that is chasing us thinks that she's still.
Are you staying in the elevator with it?
Yes.
Okay, Zarina.
And I'm just gonna pull out. I've got a collapsible baton. I pull it out of my overcoat, and I just shed it out. And it's gonna be Zarina and I in this elevator while she's escaping.
Okay.
I don't recommend fighting.
Could you roll me a speed check, please, Zarina, to get just a straight up speed check again?
I'm gonna spend some effort. Just I remember what happened the last time I was chased by something.
I just need to get her time to escape.
All right.
Okay. So you, what does it look like as Zarina moves down? You've got to avoid some of the other sort of the locks and the pipes. It's not a steady slide down, but it is effectively what it is. As you watch, as you climb out of this elevator, you see a second hand start to almost like a can rip the top of this elevator open as Livewire stays in there, or Danny DeVito, whichever.
Yeah. I don't know his name. He hasn't introduced himself.
No.
I just know that this creep who's a little suspicious. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a suspicious creep.
I think we're targeted by assassins. Like, is he a plant? I don't know. So she's kind of like dodging. She's using her legs to kind of dodge while her hands hold onto the pipe. And if she sees another like elevator doorway, she's gonna try to stop there and get that open so that I don't just slide all the way down.
You can slide as far as you get, and you sort of get that as you hit one of the things, and you can see one of the other elevator doors in front of you. Livewire, whilst you're in there, that you're projecting this image. What are you doing as this thing starts to rip?
So I've got this image, and it's the image has sound and moves. It's like a full good on. Just cannot leave this elevator. The Zarina is like getting prepared maybe to jump, but is hesitating, right? And then I am there with this collapsible baton, and I'm going to give the actual Zarina as much time to escape as possible, even if that means I die. But she must live. And so I'm going to try to beat this. Like, the thing is trying to come into the elevator, and I'm gonna like swat at it with my baton, all Danny DeVito style. Although I'm sure I don't look like Danny DeVito for the thing. No. I don't know what I look like for that thing. To try to basically make it difficult for it to come down, because every time it tries to sort of, like, you know, like when the cat's trying to get a thing and then like you're like swatting at it. I'm going to like sort of smack at its arms, trying to keep like, you know, down so that I'm not gonna like put my face in its hand. I don't feel like doing that, but I'm gonna try to just basically tie it up, slow it down to give as much time possible for Zarina to escape.
Could you roll me a speed check to avoid the fist that just comes down through the ceiling, please? Sure,
I can do that. I mean, can I do that? Probably not, because speedy I am not, but I will do my best. No bonus. I don't know what the difficulty is, it's fine. No effort. I have no assets. It's great. I beat a difficulty 5.
Okay, how do you avoid this as this huge arm comes crashing down it? So it's grown to such a size that it hits the floor of the elevator on the way through. And I will say, Zarina, you look up and you can see these sparks as the elevator just...
I just have a question. It's just a question that I have. Is this normal behavior for AI to be able to get this much mass?
No.
I didn't think so. Like, that seemed like not a normal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That did not seem.
Are you filming this?
Yes, I am. because I turned on the stream the minute people went out a window, because I was like, nope, now we're on stream. So I turned on back then, and I've not turned off. I have not. So I'm on. This seems very strange, right? But I think when the fist comes down, I like pancake against, like, both Zarina and I pancake against the walls. But I'm suspicious of this. As I'm sort of dancing around, is the damage that is being done proportional to the size of the thing that I'm seeing? Because the last time I saw a different Zarina go through that window, and so I feel like perhaps my vision might be being affected. Clearly there's a thing here, but if this is not normal for these things to gain size like that, and I already know that my perception's being messed with, I want to try to assess if the physical damage I'm seeing seems to be commensurate with the creature that I'm seeing.
Roll an intellect check of 2 for me.
I beat a 4.
Yeah, you look at this thing, and the first thing is this arm comes down, and you are pressed up against the wall that is just next to you. You look at it, and as it's starting to retract up, you can see the best way to describe it is an artificial intelligence mutation. This thing is actually that big. It is damaging. In fact, you can see this fist shape sort of in the bottom of the elevator, and it's made sort of just like a hole, not a big enough hole for someone to get through or anything like that, but you can see Zarina below you, and you can see the sparks flying on the metal as this, you notice with each hit, this elevator is juddering downwards.
Going to have to counterattack. If the fist is down, I'm going to smack the fist with my collapsible baton. I just need to keep it engaged with me and here with me here, not anywhere else, for as long as possible.
Okay. Could you roll a might check for me, please? Just straight up as you hit this thing.
Yes, and I will use some of my effort, because I've got edge in might, so it's a little bit cheaper for me to do so. And then one effort. Oop. Oh my goodness. So that's a difficulty. What is that? Difficulty. One. I beat difficult. I'm going to use my advantage because I have one. Because there's a big giant fist, and I would like that to,
It's hard to miss.
I hope so. I hope it's hard
not.
to. Apparently not. Look, I'm a little freaked out right now.
Yeah, it happens.
I beat a difficulty 2 this time.
Okay, so you swing towards this thing, and you hit it as this leg starts to come through, as if it's trying to climb into the elevator as it judders again. And as you hit it, you strike hard, and you do see a slight dent, but your baton kind of stays in the same place, as well as the leg does as well, as this huge, almost half human, half AI sort of starts to come through this thing, and you can see it's a very morphed complexion. You wouldn't have called this human anymore. It is stretched, like the skin is stretched over where the sort of like the metal itself has grown. The human has not grown with it, as it sort of moves and stretches around, and it sort of very slowly climbs into the elevator and looks at you as you hit it with the baton.
Like my baton is just like doing no effect at all. I'm like, that's right, come at me. And as my little Danny DeVito self is.
Could you do a speed defense check, please?
I like how the fight actually looks like Mario Lopez fighting this thing.
Yeah.
Every time I glance up, it's Danny DeVito.
And I'm just hoping that this is getting Zarina out of here. This is my hope. I beat a difficulty 3.
Okay. As you do, this fist comes slamming, and you move at that slight second, and you can feel just almost like a tiny bit of metal catch across your cheek. And you feel that welt sort of come up as it smashes towards it, and it hits that one of the systems where Zarina was hacking. And as Zarina was hacking, it was where the music was, it was where the lighting was, as everything slowly starts to fizzle out. And you can hear that sort of the whir of the music sort of trying to break through and nothing really happening. And then you are faced with this creature as it looks towards you. And I need you to make 2 more speed checks, please.
Fake Zarina screams.
Okay. Meanwhile, whilst you roll those, Zarina, could you roll me a might check if you're trying to split this open, please?
Yeah, I'm guessing there's not a very easy access to hack it here, so...
No, this is literally just
it's
you're ripping it open.
Maintenance hall, yeah.
Using my second advantage there.
Let's have a look.
Just a might check, okay. Let's spend effort, because this sounds important. 15. with
Yeah,
effort.
describe how you
Difficulty
sort of
5.
you look up above you, and you can hear a commotion. You see that fist almost just about come through the floor of this elevator. You see the sparks and the scrapes as it is slowly not making a descent. It looks like the brakes are waning, and there is that moment when you look at it.
It's gonna let go soon.
It's gonna let go soon. But describe how you get in.
I think she sees that. She sees through the hole in the floor a little bit what's going on, and she just goes. She twists a knob on her arm and torques her mechanical arm into overdrive, and mostly uses that to pry the door open. And then she'll look over her shoulder and be like, "Got this door open. The elevator will let go soon. I highly recommend following."
Oh!
And then then I'm booking it through.
Yeah, you
wherever
can.
this building.
You can dive straight through this
Caution,
elevator door.
radioactive. I don't know.
You dive straight through this elevator door, and you almost fall onto this marble type flooring. And you look up, and there's a few sort of businessmen and women looking at you, slightly confused, hearing the commotion. There's people running out of the building.
Rogue AI in the elevator shaft. I would leave.
And they bolt at you, climbing through this elevator as you come through. And as you say that, Livewire, you feel your stomach drop as the elevator brakes finally let go. You manage to dodge.
No.
This person...
I only dodged one. The other one I
Where's
failed.
the other one?
I have one is a difficulty 1 and one is a difficulty 3.
Okay, so you get hit by this. It's almost that you're sort of in a flail, throws its arm out, and you can feel a crunch where your ribs are down the side as you get sort of pinned against the wall. The thing that frees you as this other sort of fist comes towards you is that jolt of the elevator. Your baton sort of like still in your hand very loosely, but you feel your stomach go, the pain sort of splitting through your ribs. And the elevator drops. Zarina, you can see this. And I will say, the elevator doors are open. You may have one chance to get through to where Zarina is if you jump.
No. If I jump, it will follow, and I can't have it chase Serena. I get into the elevator emergency position.
Position. PSA of the day.
Okay. Zarina, you're sort of stood in that elevator. I need to close my curtains. No one can see me anymore.
You're just radiant, Alice.
Just
You look radiant. You look picturesque.
You're glowing.
We are at our time
today.
for our break. If you...
In fact, you know what? Let's do that. The elevator is falling. Zarina, you watch as those sparks go down, and we'll take a quick break.
And I just look at her.
Choose my light.
If the doors are open, I've got my hands braced, my knees loose, and I just, Danny DeVito, look at her, like with this meaningful look as I drop.
And I'm just looking at him like he's insane.
I'm just disappearing. Oh, hi everyone. We are in an elevator. And at this point, Livewire, you've just taken a punch from this huge metal fist as this cyborg is kind of like still growing in the elevator around you. It's very, very close quarters, and you just unable to miss this as it comes in and crushes about 2, if not 3 of your ribs. And you feel that pain as you're sort of, first of all, jammed up against the wall. But then there's that jolt, and you feel your stomach drop as the elevator drops. Throwing the second punch coming in from this thing way off, sort of crushes just beside your head, and you can see it almost go through the metal, and you start to plummet. And as you do, you can see your elevator doors are open, and you see Zarina watching as you go down. What would you like to do?
I just say run.
I'm moving. I'm just looking behind as I'm doing so. Like,
How big is this thing right now?
It is kind of like when you put a spider in a matchbox, where it's like its legs and its limbs are all sort of bent up as it's trying to fit in this thing.
what kind of spiders are you putting in what kind of matchbox? What?
You
It's
know,
something my nan used to say.
questions.
It's fine. It's something my nan used to say. I'm just going to say it's an English
Questions.
thing and be done with it.
Okay.
I am going to climb up this thing. If this thing is sort of now stuck in the elevator box, matchbox elevator, I'm going to climb up it and up through the top of the elevator.
You're going to climb up through the top of the elevator. Okay.
On it, like, because it's
on top of it.
because if it's all stuck in here, I'm like, you don't have as much maneuverability. I'm going to sort of get to the up through the top of the elevator by climbing up it, because it's
I'm going to get you to roll a might of 2 purely because you just had your ribs broken.
oh yeah, no, it's fine. I'm working on adrenaline is what I'm working on. I've got that's it. Difficulty 2.
Okay. You can start to climb up this thing, and he's trying to sort of pull you back down. He's trying to get there, but you do manage to climb on top of this thing now. And as you do, it looks up towards you. You can see that stretched side of a human face blink with its human eye towards you. Are you getting on the roof of the elevator?
Yes, so this way it will be less likely to be able to hit me. I'm trying to like be not where it's at. Like, if you're going to come down here, then I will go back up there. We'll just switch spaces. You can be in here. You can have this space. It's like when spiders move into a space and you're like, you can have this space. I'll take the old
Your
space.
space now.
Yeah, we don't need to be in the same space. So I'm going to try to scramble up to the top of the elevator. So again, we are not in close quarters with each other.
You can definitely get out of the elevator, but that thing,
Yeah.
you can feel almost your limbs lifting up off of the ground with how fast this is going, the streaks of sparks going either side of you. And I will say on that roll, you can hold on, but you can feel your feet coming off of the ground. The ground is rushing up towards you.
Yeah.
And Zarina, you can sprint. You know you're maybe 7 levels up from the bottom, and there's a clear direction. You can either run straight out to some of the skywalks, or you can head straight down to the lowest floor, which is, you kind of know where the entrance hall is, where like the big desks are when people are welcomed into the building.
Well, people are falling from the sky, and people are falling in the elevator, so I don't think being in the skywalk is potentially a great idea right now. If I could just get, something could crash through the glass. She'll just go down. She'll go downwards.
Okay. I will say, as you sort of come out and you walk past the scout, you do see Loxy on a bike currently sort of whizzing past the window as you go down, and you can see Cantor, this man you've only just met, sort of just like carving something out of the side of a building as he streaks.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay inside.
You can run to the stairs.
Yeah.
And these are just, you can just work your way down these. As
are they like the
fast as you
spiral
can.
stairs with like the center cleared out? She'll just jump a couple levels then, because I'll use my far step ability.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll spend int
Yeah, you can jump levels effectively. You've got people tearing up and down them in a panic as to whatever is going on, but you kind of avoid that as you jump between the levels. Some of them jump, some of them panic, but you soon get to the bottom floor.
Yeah,
Livewire, I need you. Well, how as you can see the ground coming up towards you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, the message has got to get out. I'm going to data jack into this being and try to pull as much information as I can from it and broadcast that information.
Okay. Are you bracing yourself in any way?
There's nothing to brace on because I'm on the top of the elevator. So I'm lying down on top of the elevator, and I'm going to try to get information about this thing out. That's so that other people can have the info at least, right? That's the like, Livewire doesn't think they're gonna make it through this, but if they can get the information to other people, it will be worth it. Okay. Always be broadcasting. Be broadcasting.
You're broadcasting. You can see the chat is flaring up. People are so almost yelling in this chat. You've probably never had so much interaction with it right now.
I have to spend an intellect point because the data chat costs one.
And you've got people trying to yell at you to get in the elevator, to brace yourself. You've got people telling you all these other different things that you should jump at the last second.
Yes.
Like, you've got all these people telling you these different things on how to survive this. And I need you to make a might check if you're not going to try and jump off or anything.
Nope, because I don't think that works. I don't think jumping at the last minute works because you retain your
I meant to the wall, one of the walls, if you're going to try grab one of the sides of the walls.
You could try to grab a wall. There are pipes. They're slidey.
But I'm also at terminal velocity, and I feel like that's not how that works. That's not how that works. So I just use my data jack to get an asset on a task involving a person or object. So I want to get the asset on the thing. So I can get information on it and broadcast that out, and hopefully to Zarina so that she can get information on this thing.
Yeah.
That's all.
You, Zarina, I will say you notice as some of the screens, because this is chaos what's happening, all the CCT seems to have dropped, but you can see Livewire's projection being thrown up on all of the screens on the lower level as people are trying to figure out what on earth is going on.
Is he insane?
And it drops. I need you to roll a might check for me, Livewire.
I will spend an edge on that one, which makes me a little bit easier to die, but doing it. And I just hope that Zarina gets the last message.
Do you have any advantages left?
No, I do not.
Oh no.
Okay. But this is for Zarina. Who's like, who is this stranger? Like,
who is this Danny DeVito who won't leave me alone?
Who is this Danny DeVito? Why is it? I have a question. I use my data jack ability to get an asset. Is it applicable?
Oh yeah, I would say so in this, as you're trying to absorb as much information and everything right now as going on.
Okay. Difficulty 5.
Were you rolling an advantage as well?
No, because I didn't have advantage left. I used all my advantage.
Okay.
5's pretty good though.
So
I'm just bracing and I'm broadcasting. And like, I just am thinking about Zarina and I'm hoping that this will, and I'm like, well, this thing, all right, here we go.
And difficulty -2, so it's like a 7 you beat technically.
So.
Oh, and difficulty minus, 2 steps. Yep.
You feel this rush as you flare past, as you're trying to hold on, you're broadcasting, you are sending out this information to every system you can. And Zarina, you can hear the screech of this metal coming down as you are stood on the lower floor. And there is a crash. Back outside, Hybrid, you've just been flung off the side of this car. And you are falling. You've got about 60 feet to the ground. Loxie and Cantor, you can both see this. You also notice that the person who sort of knocked them off, there's almost this... you can't really call him human anymore, as he starts running from car to car as if he's just not kind of trying to get away, but he's not making a real effort with it. If anything, he seems confused.
All right. Well, there's Cantor. It took a second to add that there.
Amazing.
So, I'm falling. I see people around me coming towards me. There's still cars, I'm guessing.
There is a few cars left. As I said, you're only 60 feet from the ground now. You can see people on Walkway screaming towards you as you are dropping.
First thing I do is I would like to take note of the car that I just fell off of. If it has a license plate or any other identifying features, I need to pay them back at some point. So we'll take note of that. But also gonna look for another car to like crash into and slow my fall.
Okay. Whilst this is happening, Loxy or Cantor, what are you both doing? As you're both almost on opposite sides, kind of.
Am I closer to Cantor or Hybria?
I think you're closer to Hybria right now. No, you're not, sorry. Cantor is closer to Hybria. Loxy, you are, because you had to stop and get that bike, but you can direct down. If anything, you're coming closer towards Cantor because of how high up he is.
Okay, I'm gonna try to ride down and grab him. Not like grab him, but like jump on the bike. Come on.
I have an idea. Is Hybria's in free fall, correct?
Free fall right now.
Off the ground, yeah.
Could Erica and I make a combined roll where Cantor can jump and try to intercept Hybria and land on the bike as the bike kind of banks?
Yeah, I could do a quick dive.
I'll say, Loxy, can you roll a speed? Cantor, can you roll a might? Please.
I'm definitely using effort here and getting dangerously close to not having that option.
So, I've been using effort wrong, apparently. So I can spend 3 from my pool to make 1 effort?
Yes.
Correct.
Unless you have edge, and then it's 2.
We only get effort of 1 right now because...
Oh, wait! I have a critical success, right? Someone gave me a critical success from last time. Can I use it right now?
I'll let you use it right now.
That was not a good roll.
Okay, do you need a difficulty or just a straight roll here?
A straight roll here.
I do have an advantage that may very well be coming into play. Let's hope not. Huh? Oh, yeah, baby! Get some! Get some!
Okay.
Yes.
I'll set this up, but you tell me how it happens. Hybria, you are spinning out of control. You can see a car sort of coming up. This is going to hurt if it hits. As you are heading down, you sort of manage to gain control. And Loxy, you and Cantor can lock eyes at that moment. And whether there's a nod or some form, Loxy, you turn that bike and you just dive dead straight down through traffic. You are weaving, you know how to drive, you know these machines as you sort of weave in between each of these hover cars, these trams. You hear the blare of horns as people are trying to avoid you and swerve out of the way. And Cantor, you jump. Both of you describe what happens.
I would say, yeah, just you set me up.
Yeah, so I will be, I'll start going towards Cantor, and I'll see Hybria, and then I'll look at Cantor, and we'll make eye contact.
And with just a flick of his head, he nods you over as he's still clawing down the building over to...
And then I just gun it downward towards Hybria on this bike. Cantor?
And then Cantor, as soon as he sees the trajectory, the geometry of the descending people, he will lean down and push off of the building, almost like he's doing a back dive. His knees and hip would pop as the age takes its effect, but he gets enough of, his legs for just a second think that they're 26 instead of 66 as he pushes off and does his arc. he would fly over, and while we're in free fall, and because this is a 20, as he's approaching Hybria, he would take that millisecond to make eye contact with her and say, "May I?" as he gets ready to grab her.
And I say, "Yes, now is an acceptable time." And I take his hand.
And then he would grab the hand and almost like using himself as a ladder in the air, climb up and saddle down behind his friend who's flying the bike.
And I imagine, Loxy, if hover bikes could screech into place, it would just be like a...
And you feel that
pressure
pressure
for them to...
That's the most Akira shit ever.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
And I will say, Loxy, you feel as you get there just in time as you swing this bike out, and that screech comes from the engines that you have to slam on at the back. As that high-pitched screech comes out, and you feel Cantor land, that weight of him and Hybria land on the back of your car, of this bike. Back in the elevator.
No, it was difficulty 7 that I got, because I rolled a 5, and then I got 1 for the effort, and then 1 for the assets. That's a difficulty 7 total.
You were tearing down this thing, and Zarina, where you are, you almost stood outside this elevator door where you know it's going to land, you know it's going to be, and you hear that crash and an explosion.
So we're in like the lobby, right?
You're in the lobby.
Okay. Usually in, typical lobbies, they've got some nice fake plants, like ficuses and stuff by the elevators. I want to be between like the 2 ficuses on either side of the elevator doors in case the thing comes out. Hopefully it'll just be like, oh, ficus, and then keep going. But and then I can go help Livewire.
Okay, you're poised between the plants.
Between 2 birds. Between 2 birds.
And you hear that crunch of metal, that crash, and sort of you see these elevator doors bulge, and there's silence. You hear the crush of metal, and there's a moment where you can see the debris sort of out from beneath the doors bend, and the doors open, and as they do, Livewire, you roll out on a 7. He looks in absolute state. The elevator itself has crushed everything within the elevator. You can see this huge arm moving. Nothing else seems to be moving. It's almost like a twitch and a flare as it tries to claw its way out. As the music kicks in the lobby.
In the elevator. In the elevator would have been bad.
In the lobby, it's still streaming, and on all the screens. What's this Livewire see? Go, Serena.
I don't feel you were supposed to run.
I ran down 6 flights of stairs.
I meant further away. And I'm just like lying there, like on the floor.
The doors are doing that ding, ding, as they sort of open and
hit like the arm,
constantly.
and then they open again. And
there's something stuck in the door. It's trying, but you can, and like Livewire, you're kind of this almost ragdolled on the top of this elevator.
Oh, help him
more than ribs are broken right now.
We should get you some medical attention, sir. Do you have a preferred hospital?
No, I don't go to the doctor. It's not a great idea. I'm gonna pass out. That's what I'm gonna do right now.
You don't want to go to the doctor?
No.
Okay,
No.
well, I know a guy who could handle this if you don't want to go
What's
to
his
an
name?
official... Jalon Slazowski?
No, not him.
You know him?
He's the worst.
He's fine. No,
No.
I mean, he's kind of awful, but you need help.
I need a whiskey. Look,
No,
really?
No,
Look,
there's some blood here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass out. I just want.
Okay.
Wait, everyone, great stream. Thank you for the comments. Like, subscribe, tips, donations. Be right back. And I just flip to my to reruns break screen, and then I'm gonna pass out because I'm feeling some blood loss. I'm not feeling great. I'm gonna pass out now.
Get some first aid over here.
You've got some people that come running towards you. One of the Tellurians comes out and is reaching up towards the top of the elevator, and sort of for a moment you can see him pull out what looks like a pen, presses the top, and this field seems to appear above Livewire, and he just gradually lifts off the top of the elevator and puts him back down on the ground. And Zarina, from where you are, as Livewire passes out, you look to the window and you see this bike come slamming down and skidding just above the ground before it hits. As the three people you were in the waiting room with come to a slow standstill.
What happened to the cyborg that I was with? Because they went running off, right? Or they went gone?
They seemed to be gone, but they didn't go. It wasn't like they went tearing off to hide. If anything, you could see them malfunctioning as they were going. You're not too sure if they actually had a direction.
I turn to Cantor and Loxy, and I just look at them and I tuck a stray piece of hair behind my ear, and I say, "That was a very alarming situation. I thank you greatly for your assistance. My name is Zhenfang Mingzhu Hybria, but seeing as how you have just saved my life, please address me informally as Hybria."
Hi, I'm Loxy. Did you want to follow that guy?
I think that would be an intelligent move, seeing as how he has almost murdered me, so we should probably gather more information about him, if possible.
All right, that's Cantor. And then I'm gonna take off.
I feel like I'm like reaching for a formal handshake with Cantor when the bike just like jerks away.
Yeah,
I will say. Sorry, go on, Greg.
I was just gonna say, Cantor has an arm on a hand on his friend's shoulder, on Loxy's shoulder, and his head just kind of rests against the. I mean, the old man's been through a big fall and had his life saved by someone that screeched a motorcycle in the air, and he just nods to everything Hybria says, but it's almost like he's ready to fall asleep.
And as you take off, you can see this cyborg isn't far at all. In fact, they're very, very close. They look as if they're confused and troubled, as to though they don't really know where they are. You see people screaming and sort of running away from this. They lash out. But as you sort of bow down, Cantor, you feel that box and your belongings still in that plastic bag, sort of lodged in your jacket. Hybria, the tea left your hand at that moment as you sort of fell out of the thing, but you have got like this tea stain down the side. But you can see the cyborg, if anything, he's now on the lower levels right where you are, and he's just thrashing about. You see confusion here now. You don't see malicious intent. It still looks pretty dangerous. The eyes are whirring, they're flicking from blue to orange, from blue to orange.
So as we pull up, I'm going to hop off the bike, imagining we're not super high up and we come in kind of low to this person. I hop off the bike and I'm going to approach just sort of like with my hands up, and I flip back into whatever this is, and I start kind of replaying the memory, feeling the warmth for this person as they were in my family home taking care of me. And so I'll just approach and very softly put my hands out and just say, "It is all right. I know that you were a friend, and I'm sorry that it turned out like this, but please allow me to assist you in finding some rest." And I'll put out a hand, and I don't know if it's going to work like this, but I would like to drain this machine, and hoping that I have this effect with machines. Sometimes, they help me feel better. And so I would just like to try and drain some of their energy so maybe they can like power down and rest without being hacked.
Could you roll an intellect check for me, please?
Cool. Any difficulty?
Difficulty of 3. He's quite worked up.
Okay, so I'm trained in intellect today. So that'll bring it down to a 2. Cool. And yeah, I'll put an effort into it because they're a friend. Yay, I beat a 3.
You sort of reach out, and at first it seems angry, sort of like is not very coherent, but as your hand rests on it, you see the face sort of, the eyes widen, the face drops. And what does it look like as you do this?
So my eyes and my hair all have this like crazy blue tinge to them. My eyes are actually like glowing orbs. And I just approach and I put my hand over their like swirling orange eye. And I just do one of these like as if to close it, even if there's no eyelid. I just sort of like brush it. And I'm like, I don't remember you, but maybe you remember me. My name is Zhenfeng Mingzhu Haibria. And not knowing any other ways to comfort people, she'll just repeat her name a few times.
Yeah,
Zhenfeng Mingzhu Haibria. Zhenfeng Mingzhu Haibria.
And you feel that crunch as he sort of drops to his knees and falls flat on the ground. And Cantor and Loxy, you see this.
I apparently get to regain 1 point per level of the device. How many points would you like me to regain from this device?
I think just 1 right now. Cool. I think it takes time.
Loxy's just gonna look at Cantor and be like, what the heck is she doing? What did she just do? That's cool.
I don't have any idea. Great driving.
Thanks. Put my little arm out for a fist bump at the end of my wing.
He does too, as he's pulling on his secondary pair of fingerless gloves.
And I'll turn back to them and the blue like fades from all of me. And I just look down at the cyborg on the ground and I say, God, I don't know what I'd say. I think I'd just be like, I have diffused the threat. This threat, not the overall threat on our lives. That I do not have further information on as of right now.
What should we do with this guy?
Well, if I may make a suggestion, my family, the Zhenfeng family, are currently on their way to retrieve me, something that I do not wish to happen. So if you would be amenable to helping me escape, I can promise you a lot of favors in return.
I mean, I think we could make that happen.
Excellent. But before we do, I turn back to the cyborg and I still have some pool left. So I would like to try and hack the cyborg now that they are not a threat. So I gain quick access to a desired bit of information in a computer or similar device, or I access one of its primary functions.
Okay. Roll me a straight up intellect on that, and then let me know what it is you're trying to find.
A name. I beat a 5.
Okay, when you say a name,
like his name or like information, because I have the memory of him being in my family home. So like, who are you? Why don't I remember you? Yeah. What up? You know my brother?
You get 3 things from this. 1, the name Jonathan rings a bell, almost as if that's what you'd say, what you would have called him, or maybe even what you heard your parents call him. 2, he no longer has that name anymore. It's like a serial number now seems to be more imprinted. And 3, as you hack it, just the one name that seems to be unreal, it's not him saying it, it's almost like it's been put into him, is Archer.
I withdraw my hand. I imagine I had like touched him and sort of like almost like my hand sank into the mechanical parts of his body and started learning that. And so I'll just withdraw my hand, brush them off, say, that is valuable information, and then go back to the bike with Loxie and Cantor.
Could I have said one thing before I passed out?
Yes. We'll hop back over to Serena and Livewire. What are you saying before you pass out?
The one thing I want to say before I pass out was, I've always been lucky. And then I pass out, and I feel like that's a thing that Zarina might have heard before. A phrase.
This guy's a real big creeper. Okay, that's fine.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
This Tellurian does come over to you, Zarina, and sort of looks down at you. He's like, is this a friend of yours?
Acquaintance.
Sort of looks down. As you can see him being lifted onto this almost like a very hover sort of like, it's almost more of a platform where people are being wheeled out, other people who have either been in shock or damage or anything like that. Is there, could we have your contact details, please, so that we can, you know, are you his next of kin?
Here's my contact details.
We are taking him to the hospital.
Okay, which hospital? The nearest one? Just down the street?
It's just this very slow nod, this very tall creature which is looming over you. So just a very very serene nod.
Okay, would I be able to accompany him to the hospital?
Are you next of kin?
She looks over at Vito. She goes, yes.
And he looks down at you and then looks towards
adopted siblings.
Then you may. Please follow me this way. And he starts to walk in this. You have Danny DeVito wheeled out of this lobby.
I imagine this Tellurian sees something completely different.
Yeah, when you're like, with family.
Adopted.
She's like, maybe I'm even Tellurian for the Tellurian? I don't know, right?
You're Tellurian. Right now, you're a Tellurian.
Adopted. Family. Siblings. Yeah.
Please then follow me.
Thank
they
you.
sort of lead you out to one of these platforms, and you know the hospital is huge here. It's one of the largest buildings in the city, and it's the best way to describe it. It's kind of as big as the trams, as you see Livewire and a couple of others wheeled in, hovered in.
And on the way, I'm gonna be texting my friend. That Livewire was like, no, he's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be texting him like, dude, you would not believe what just happened.
And you can head onto this tram as the Tellurian guides you in, sits you down, and it starts to hover off of the ground. An alert seems to go off, almost like a siren, as people are lifted up towards the hospital with you along with it. Hybria, Cantor, and Loxie, where are you going with this as you are currently stood? People are looking at you, all of you, because Hybria literally just walked up to the guy causing a commotion and bopped him and he went down.
Is there enough room on the bike for all of us? For the three of us?
I mean, there was when you
and
fell, so it'll be uncomfortable, but yeah.
All right. So we'll just like flop him over the back of it, I assume. And I want to take us all back to the garage, if that works for everyone else.
I was going to say if we wanted to get rid of the bike because it's technically stolen, Cantor was just going to put the guy on the bike. He took it, right?
He was at the police station.
Right. He's got a record.
True. Well, I guess guess before we drive off, I'll turn to Hybria and say, do we need him for anything else? Did you gather enough information or anything? Do you know who he is? Do you know where he came from?
I know some things. I know somewhat about where he came from. I don't know if I'll get any other information out of him, so probably best to leave him to the authorities and as a scapegoat.
You can see some of the officers start piling out towards the area where you are going. They seem to be looking in the streets to come and see if they can find anything. You have some of the very large screens have red alert, the things normally used for advertising. The face of this person is being flashed up onto the screen as a warning.
Oh yes, it seems as though the authorities are beginning to gather, so we should probably make haste and get away from this suspect.
All right, then I'll just leave him and the bike here, and then we can
go for a brisk jog.
Yeah.
Walk away. Just like nothing's happening. Just walk away.
You can effectively slink off. It's not difficult to lose yourselves because there's lots of crowds of people that are gathering around this. Plus, all of the officers are running more towards this person rather than you. And you heading back to Loxie's garage then?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk into the garage. There is someone waiting outside. It's just a regular client. It doesn't seem to be anything else. They sort of sat in the waiting room. But you have got this almost, it's like a beam of light acting almost like tape that is cornering off certain sections of your garage. But you can go in, and what do you do as soon as you get in?
As soon as I see the client, I'm going to say, come back tomorrow. Shop is closed today.
And
We've
there's
had
an eye
a
roll.
rough day. Yep.
There's an eye roll and a trudge out, as you do.
I'll put you on the list.
As he goes.
And when we get in, I'm going to make sure the front of the shop is closed. And I'm going to flip some switches in a very specific order to get into the very back part of my garage. So like a false door will open. Like we can go back in here for a little bit.
Yes, I was here earlier today when that person was murdered.
Yeah.
It has been a strange day.
Yeah, it has. Hasn't it?
Well, as I said, I have a great reward for your assistance. Thank you very much for saving my life. I was extremely terrified. I don't know if it was apparent or not, but falling from such a height would have been extremely detrimental to my life. So thank you. And I would like to beam an insane amount of credits, like some really unreasonable amount of credits to both of them, like probably like, I'm guessing 1,000 credits. I don't know what the conversion is. I just have money. And I just say, please accept this as a reward from the Zhen Fang family, specifically me.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. This is a lot of credits.
Is it? Oh, I mean, it is. My life is worth quite a few credits to my family. As I mentioned, I am Zhen Fang Mingzhu Hybria from the Zhen Fang family of Osiris.
And I'm Loxie Anshin, and this is Cantor.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Do you need anything? I mean, do you need to recoup? Like, this has been an insane day.
Oh, yes, it has been very stressful and tiring. I will probably require sleep and a rest, but my overarching goal is I am on a hunt for my esteemed older brother, Zhen Fang Liwei Archer. Have you heard of him?
Would I have? No.
Wouldn't have, no.
I'm sorry.
That is all right. I'm sure I will be reunited with him soon, especially if there are others who are tracking him and trying to kill me while tracking him. That may lead me to him.
Cantor would just go at the dire prediction, just but ever since she said that she would need something, you know, to rest. He's been kind of going through his pockets, and he pulls out a ball of like tinfoil, having absolutely no idea where and he opens it up and he sees that there's food inside. Ugh, hands it over and kind of puts it on if there's a table there for either Loxy or Hybria. And he pulls out the box, also having no idea where it came from. But he'll open it.
Okay. As you open it, there doesn't seem to be a lot in here. You can kind of see why it was maybe given back to you. And because it was locked firmly shut when you had it, which it would have indicated something of great importance to be in here, but it's unlocked, it's fine. And in here are two things, or a few things. They seem to be bits of paper and bits and bobs and stuff like that. They don't like, almost like receipts of some things, but also in here are two photos. One of the photos you almost, I say recognize immediately, you don't recognize the person in the photo. It's a picture of three children smiling as if they're standing posing for a photo. And the first thing about the middle one, the young boy, is the eyes. Like that photo you saw earlier, the one that people were looking for. But it's the eyes that are the same, because the picture you saw was an adult. But it's those same smiling eyes sort of looking back as these three children, two girls and a boy, stand smiling, grinning as if they're posing for the photo. And it seems kind of old and tatty, like it's been screwed up once before. And underneath that is this, the best way to describe it is a pendant. And it's almost looks like a cog, as if it had three sections to fit in it at one point. And these sort of things, you can see again receipts for places to eat. And to anyone else, you can see why this has been cast aside. There's really not much in here. But as you sort of look at that photo, could you roll me an intellect check, please? Sure. Again, straight up.
Is it normal to have paper receipts, or is that weird, or is that not weird?
It's not weird in the sense that very small businesses still have it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that was a while ago. That wasn't something, it's you get it every now and then. It's kind of when you don't want something to be traced. Mm-hmm. But this is for food. This is for eating out. And on that roll, Cantor, you sort of almost feel like you've, like earlier when you were running along that corridor in your mind and you open that door, you see yourself in that corridor again, that door at the end. And you see your own hand reach for the handle and open into a room. And in this room, you can see a huge window that looks out over a city. Not Nalmerius. You don't recognize it. It's a completely different skyline. And it's a very basic, fairly sort of empty room. But you hear a small voice of, "He's here!" And these three children run towards you, and you almost feel yourself picking them up, giving them a hug. One of them, you reach out, you ruffle their hair, and the little girl gives you a grin and smiles. And you're in this room with them. There's nothing else in here. But they all beam back at you. And you can feel that one that you hold on to clings tightly. And almost for a moment you hear a voice. Almost as if it's talking from behind you at the back of your head. I'm back. Everything's going to be okay now. And you realize it's your own echoing. And then you're back, holding down, looking at this box that almost as if you didn't realize you've picked up that pendant, you've picked up that photo. You have no memory who this is.
He holds them out to probably to Locks. Are these yours? Did I pick these up?
No, those aren't mine. I don't think I've seen this box before. It's not yours, but you have it?
I don't know where I got it. I think these are mine. And he puts the picture and the pendant in his pockets.
And as you move them aside, you see something else. Just looks like a flat card. But it's metal, almost like a key card. But it's plain, there's nothing on it. But it sits sort of amongst all of these receipts.
He would hold it out to the two of them. What do you think this is?
Picturing Tybria in like this very serious Cantor moment of possible backstory, but she's like looks completely out of place in something that's probably off like a fashion runway, like floor length shimmery silver trench coat, like holding up that tinfoil package just like with the tips of her fingers, and just looks over and says, "It appears to be some sort of key card. Also, may I inquire how old this food is? Is this edible?" Never mind. You go back to that. She'll set it down cautiously. I
was gonna say Cantor takes a guess. Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Let me see what we have in the fridge over here really quick.
I assume that George and the AI box are still there in the garage that Loxy was going to look at.
George is there.
But the AI box is gone, yeah?
The box that George was in is still there.
But there was also the little owl.
Oh yeah, no, that's still there as well.
And I thought that the owl was named George.
No, the
George
AI
is in the box.
George in the box.
May I see that card? I have some skill with technology and information. And I'll take it. And can I data jack this?
You can. Roll me an intellect check for me, please.
Nice. So roll intellect and no difficulty, and I have training in this, so I beat a 4.
Okay. You sort of look at this. It's more that you're reading the information, where it was made, where it, what it was and sort of done for. You can tell it has been encrypted massively, and it was created, from the sounds of it, as you sort of scan through all of the bits and bobs, is on Mara 34. But with some of the readings you go through, and again, you probably only know this because of your family, it's got a writing on it and an encryption based in the center, which doesn't make sense. But you recognize similar sort of language from artifacts found on the planet of Trumia.
So she stands perfectly still for a good, like, 2-3 minutes, just blue and glitching out a little bit, and then come back to herself. It seems as though there's a name that I'm picking up, Amara 34, and there is some sort of encryption on here, similar to artifacts found on the planet
Trumia.
Tremia. Do you have any previous history on that planet, or does that name ring a bell to you?
No.
Well, here you go. She'll hand it back.
Thank you, Zhang Fang, Ming Shu, Abria.
You may address me informally as Hybria, as we are now what I would like to call friends.
He would take he'd turn like a Michael Bay 90-degree turn towards Loxy and just raise an eyebrow. Okay.
Loxy looks back from the fridge when Hybria says friends, and will just be like, yeah.
As friends, may I know what you are called?
Oh, me?
Oh, right, we already did introductions. Loxy, yes.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
ignore it. I knew that.
I mean, I would probably not have blinked an eye if you forgot my name, based on how you were dressed. Loxy's gonna pull some like leftovers out of the fridge to see if anything is like grab a container out, hold it up to the light, see what's in there and how long it's been in there.
Yeah, you can find something that's edible, and you can all sit down like round this very small table that has been set up by Cantor, and at least have something to eat. Where the box still sits on this table. Would Cantor have closed it again, or is it just handed to Loxy?
He would have kept it open if that's his decision, and he's just kind of staring at everything that's inside, like, you know, leaves in autumn, paper in the wind, trying to figure out where they came from.
So I know like Cantor and I have a bit of a friendship, but like, is this pre-Loxy and Cantor friendship, or is this something I might have known?
You have no idea what this is, like, okay. Cantor. This is very bizarre. But as we come away from the garage, as you all sit there and eat what the mystery meal in the Tupperware that Loxy found at the back of the fridge.
I think it's meatloaf,
says Loxy as she dives into it. But Zarina, you arrive at the hospital. Livewire is still out, way out. But this Tellurian sort of guides you through just to follow. You can see Livewire on this almost like hover stretcher being pushed through. There's lots of people coming in and out. It's always busy here.
And I'm definitely texting, like, concern.
As you were sending these messages, could you roll me an intellect check, please? Straight up.
Yeah, I can. I would love to. You know, I'm gonna spend some effort because I want to know, Alice.
I want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
You are sort
Difficulty
of messaging
3.
and texting as you go, and you can see Livewire being sort of ferried off by this Tellurian, who is in the medical sort of attire, and you get this feeling that almost makes you just take a stop, like you just pause for a moment. It's not a feeling of dread. It's not a feeling of anything almost like disastrous. It's as if a breeze passes you and you pause and you can turn and look, and people are rushing past this in and out of this hospital. People are being ferried in, ferried out, but one person stands by a bench and a plant. The hologram is juddering.
It's a good place to stand next to.
Everyone needs to stand next to a plant.
Yeah.
As this plant judders,
By the elevator.
people keep moving backwards and forwards. And a woman in white stands.
Oh. Who's this lady? I've never seen her.
And watches you. And her eyes follow live wire into the room. And she sort of tilts her head to look at you, then holds up a hand and just waves.
Go step over. She seems to know this guy, maybe. I don't know who he is. Maybe she can help me out. Like, so like him over there, kind of. Maybe she's gonna try to maybe get a name or something.
You can start walking towards her, and
Like
as
a
you do,
curious wave.
she waves back, and as you start to walk towards her, she starts to walk towards you, almost mirroring you. And as she sort of reaches out a hand, and as she does, it's like she starts to disintegrate. Those pixels, as she slowly starts to break away, as someone walks through her, and she disperses into the air itself. And the Tellurian looks back towards you. He's like, miss, we are taking him into room C.
I'm coming. She's gone now and a little freaked out. Stuff's getting weirder. Pull my phone back out again, and I'll catch up to the Tellurian and Livewire. This lady, I guess, is a hologram projection. It's weird.
And as you walk and you follow this Tellurian
Just keep
again,
glancing back.
as you glance back, you can feel almost like a breath on the back of your neck. Just a... And you look back, and by the plant, by the bench, she stands there and waves. I think that's where we'll leave it this week as we go into the hospital.
What?
With Livewire. I will hand back over to Greg.
I love this game so much. Holy smokes. Let's just go around and say goodbye to these lovely people. We'll start with Lily this week. Lily, how are you? Where can we find you online? And Alice again. Awesome, eh?
Yeah, so awesome. I live for this game every week, and I'm just still so happy I had time to make my little canto around the building. So my name's Lily. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lily Sparks with an X. I am on a lot of different streams. You can find me on the Fabled 42 channel, the Scraticus channel, WebDM channel, this channel, and the Lady Tiefling channel. If you follow me on social media, I'll have schedules and updates on all of the things. Also, this Sunday, I am premiering a new game on the Gilding Light channel. It's only a 4-episode arc, a little short shot. So if you want to come see some ridiculous, psychedelic, magical girl, stoner, rigmarole, then come check us out, 4 to 7 p.m. on Gilding Light. And thanks for having me here. God, I love this game and these characters so much. And I love Alice so much. And yay, I feel excited.
I just want to say, as selfishly, I took so much pleasure from your photoshopping of Cantor into your background that's going to carry me through the weekend. That's no shit. Like, I'm like legit going to be,
I'll send you this afterwards so you can frame it or something.
It'll be my background next. No, okay. Let's jump up to Lindy. Lindy, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And hey, this game, this Alice, amazing, right?
Super amazing. My favorite thing is that I don't know she's murdered a guy, and I have no idea who this woman is, and everyone else is concerned. I'm just concerned about Trooper's character right now. So much fun. Absolutely loved it. You can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play and GM a lot of tabletop RPGs. Monday, Tuesday, every week on my channel. You can find me here on Wednesday nights playing Witcher. You can also find me and Greg playing Teenagers from Outer Space tomorrow morning. So if you like to wake up early and laugh until you cry, you should probably check that out, because that's usually what happens when we play that game. Also, I'm starting a brand new session 1 of a new campaign tomorrow on Wandering DM's channel. We're pirates. It's gonna be fun. I'm super excited. I love pirates. Who doesn't like pirates? Yeah, and I'll be counting down till next week, because I need to talk. I need to make sure I know what room he's in, and then talk to Murder Lady. So priorities, and keep texting my friend.
Friend, whatever about your friend.
Yeah, he's my friend.
Is he?
I've known him for years.
Have you?
I have. We go to Bob's Barbecue and beer every Thursday night for trivia, and I'm awful at trivia. So if he keeps going with me, I mean, we're good friends.
Looks just like Mario Lopez. Let's go over to Livewire. Trooper, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And hey, this game, this Alice.
I personally have no broken bones, so I'm doing very well. I'm also very excited about getting a 7 difficulty on the Do Not Die in the elevator. That was good. That was useful. I think that was good. I'm also glad that I was able to buy Zarina time to escape and not be murdered by the Terminator, because that's all I want. And also that I got the stream out. Always be streaming, and I hope I got some good tips and donations from that one, because I feel like Livewire is going to need to be able to pay for some medical bills, so I think that's useful. Share, like, subscribe. This is amazing. I love this. I'm so excited, and I have so many questions, and I want to know. Like that. Also, Alice is amazing, and Alice, all the information. Just need to know all the info. And I love the entire cast, and I'm so excited about all of us talking and all this stuff. So good. And you can find me on Trooper SJP here on Twitch, or Academic Foxhole on Twitter. Tonight is the game that I GM, which is City of Light and Shadow, a French resistance campaign using Fate Condensed, and that's on my channel at 7. If you want to see it, it's 1941, Paris. There's jazz and also danger. That's it. That's me.
Fantastic, my friend. And sorry my commands aren't working, everybody, but links are being spammed in chat. Make sure you follow these lovely, kind people. And we drop down to Erica. Erica, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And hey, this game, this Alice.
I'm obsessed with this game. It is so wild. And I think I said this last week, it's unlike any other game I've played before. I mean, I've played Cypher before, but like this world, these characters, these like situations that we're finding ourselves in, it's just crazy, and I love it so much. You can find me across all social media at A Style Pixie. I usually stream on Twitch at A Style Pixie. 3 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow, I will be doing a one-shot on Total Party Chill. I believe at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to have to double check that, but if you follow me on Twitter, I will confirm there. We will be planning a fantasy wedding in 3 days. So let's see how this turns out. And you can also find me on Girls Gets Glory. We will be making a return. We don't have an official start date, but just know that we will be coming back. And yeah, great. So that's cool. Thanks.
Amazing. And selfishly, to be involved in the high-speed catch and landing and screeching on a rocket bike in midair, again, much like the little Cantor in the Photoshop, memories like that will carry me through to next Friday. I'll just have enough steam to make it through to next Friday, living off those moments. Amazing.
So
stuff.
epic. So epic.
So cool. Oh, the rolls are great. Okay, Alice, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And hey, this game, this Alice.
I love this game so much. The characters add just so much flavor and to the world itself. Like, one, I love how Lily is just like, this is fine. I'm going to sort this out. Now I'm going to have a conversation with this guy, flung out of the air again. And then Cantor and Loxy and Hybria, as you said, Greg, having that moment, that epic moment. And I love how casual, like, in a way, this Arena and Livewire survives this massive fall on that amazing roll, which had no advantages or no nat 20s or anything like that. And just the image in my head of the doors open and closing and Serena seeing this mess on the other side as she stands between the plants is one of my favorite things. But yeah, I'm Alice, which is White Rabbit Pick on Instagram and also on Twitter. I am one of the founders of the Scratchicus Academy, where we love to teach people how to play TTRPGs, because more people should be doing it, because it is a wonderful thing and you get to play with wonderful people like this. Also, I do a lot of photography stuff, which is interesting now that I can't go outside, but it's getting there. I'm also, as you can see, a DM here, and in 3-4 hours, I am DMing the long-term another Cypher System campaign, Zyara, over on the Gilding Light channel. But I'm already excited for next week, so I'll hand back over to Greg.
Oh, amazing stuff. And again, I don't want to take anybody's time, but little things that amount to creating such a breathable world. When Lindy and Trooper decorated that scene and they were talking, you added the doors that were closing and opening and closing and opening. That is cinematic, imaginative, masterpiece, masterclass level stuff there, because then all of a sudden, that for me, that's the elevator door closing scene. And I'll just remember the two and everything they said with that door going back and forth. That's amazing stuff. This is a lesson for me. This is like master class. Like I've signed up for this and I get to watch a GM do this and I take notes the whole time. So anyway, Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, Tales from the Grim here on the Twitch. A lot of fun things coming up. We have Witcher next Wednesday. Lindy's in that. Trooper is in it as well. A bit of a hiatus right now, but 8 o'clock Eastern, we have the finale of our Capers show that Trooper's in this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. But everybody, if I could just suggest one thing: one, follow everybody here because they're just the best. Two is pick a moment from this show, and I will use that as a 9-volt battery to power me through to next Friday, so we can play this fantastic game again in this amazing world with these ridiculously cool people and characters, and with a master class legendary GM. I can't wait. But until then, everybody, take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay kind, tell stories, and as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say: you can't always roll nat 20s, except in this game, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.